Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright. So, Spirit, I'm going to be in, let's see, 2nd Chronicles 14. I'm going to start at verse 1. Let's see. It says, So Abijah slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David, and Asa, his son, reigned in his stead. In his days the land was quiet 10 years. So Asa is really the king who this chapter is focused on. He, when you read the scriptures, let me read verse 2. And Asa did that verse 2. And Asa did that which was good and right in the eyes of Yahawah, his power. Alright, so when you read about the kings of Israel, the kings of Judah, the scriptures always tells you right within a couple verses whether they were righteous or they were wicked kings of Israel. You see? You had both. You had righteous kings, you had wicked kings. And the ones that were righteous were the ones who did what was right and good in the eyes of Yahawah. Alright? So that's just like us, I spoke on it before. When you say, "Oh, is this person's he's a good guy or he's a good person," well, according to what? Is he good according to Yahawah, or is he good according to just your opinion? Because this is the Holy Scriptures. We deal with the powers Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, and it's a heavy doctrine. It's not for everyone. You see. You have the wicked kings of Israel and righteous kings of Israel. Verse 3. And this is why he was righteous. Let's read it. For he took away the altars of the strange gods and the high places, and brake down the images and cut down the groves. Alright, so all that like groves are like forests where they do wicked rituals and shit. It goes back to all the way, we're reading about it in Chronicles, and you have the Illuminati. This is where they go to do their rituals nowadays. The Bohemian Grove, look that up. It has a big ass owl, and you know what? Elder Apostle Gabar just spoke on it. I forgot what the owl represents. Oh, Molech, which is the god of child sacrifice. You see. So anyway, that's what your Illuminati, your elite, Esau, Edom, that's what they do. They go to those groves, which are like forests, and they do rituals. See, wicked rituals. But anyway, I'm over here on verse 4 rather. And commanded Judah to seek Yahawah, the power of their fathers, and to do the law and the commandment. So see, he was King Asa of Judah. He was righteous, and there's another reason why, because he was commanding Judah, which is southern kingdom. He was commanding them to keep the laws of Yahawah. You see, so that's why he did which was good in the sight of Yahawah. All right. And let me read verse 5. Also, he took away out of all the cities of Judah the high places and the images, and the kingdom was quiet before him. See? So he had peace. I mean, that's what it means when it says quiet before him. But Yahawah was the one who gave him that peace because of his actions. Because, that's what as Israelites, we gotta do the best that we to our ability and keep the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Alright. Verse 6. And he built fenced cities in Judah, for the land had rest. And he had no war in those years, because Yahawah had given him rest. See? Therefore he said unto Judah, let us build these cities, and make about them walls and towers, and gates and bars, while the land is yet before us, because we have sought Yahawah our power, we have sought him, and he hath given us rest on every side. So they built and prospered. All right. So when he's he's implementing an order in Judah, building towers, walls around cities, which is protection, and the reason why our people were able to do this, which this is Southern Kingdom, they were able to do this because they had peace on all borders. All right, because of the righteousness of Asa. It says, let me go to verse 8. And Asa had an army that bare targets and spears out of Judah, 300,000, and out of Benjamin that bare shields and drew bows, 204,000, fourscore thousand. All these were mighty men of valor. All right. So Asa he had a built-up military. The military of Judah at the time of Asa, hey, they were valor, mighty men. It says. When you start reading about the mighty men of the Lord, man, they're doing some incredible things, Talking about Samson and, David's mighty men. All these Israelite men doing some incredible things, you see. Verse 9. And there came out against them Zerah the Ethiopian with an host of 1,300 chariots, and came unto Maresha. All right. So Ethiopians, that would have been Ham, Ham trying to battle us, That's why all these heathen nations, they all had their parts at being adversaries to the apple of the Lord's eye, Israel, you see. So that's why they all have to go subject and be underneath us in the kingdom, because they've all had their hand in against us, you see. Psalms 83, it tells you about the nations all came together and they want to get rid of our remembrance, you see. Verse 10, where are we at? Let's see. So the Ethiopian's bucking up against him. His name is Zerah the Ethiopian. So I'm at verse 10. Then Asa went out against him, and they set the battle in array in the valley of Zephathath at Mareshash. And Asa cried unto Yahawah his power, and said, Yahawah, it is nothing with thee to help, whether with many or with them that have no power. Help us, our Yahawah, our power, for we rest on thee, and in thy name we go against this multitude. O Yahawah, thou art our power, let no man prevail against thee. And when I read this verse, it made me think of the Maccabees, Let me see if I can get that verse real quick. Let me see. Alright, let's see. Let me see if I can find that verse. It's in the Apocrypha, but that's what that reminded me of, because you see, he's crying to Yahawah and he's asking him for power when another nation is coming up against us. See? So let me see this real quick. I think. Alright, yep. Came up. Let me see. Maccabees. Because see, this is what it is. You know, the remnant is going to be a small number. We're small numbers compared to the multitude, right? So if we're, Lord willing, I'm in that number of the remnant of the, the elect, the prophets, you see. But it's a small number compared to the multitude. So let's get it. First Maccabees 3. So we got to put our trust in Yahawah, because Yahawah can deliver a small number from a great multitude easily, you see. And that's basically what it is right now, because even 2/3 of our own people are part of that multitude that does not put their trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. First Maccabees 3:18, and I'm gonna read 19 also. This is because, let me read, before I read this, let me go back to this verse here in 2 Chronicles 14, verse 11, which is talking about Asa, right? He did the same thing Judas Maccabees did. Verse 11, and Asa cried unto Yahawah his power and said, Yahawah, it is nothing with thee to help, whether with many or with them that have no power. Help us, O Yahawah, our power, for we rest on thee, and in thy name we go against this multitude. O Yahawah, thou art our power, let no man prevail against thee. See, so he put his full trust in that prayer, in that cry unto Yahawah. You see, it was sincere. You see, let me see first. Let me see 3. But Asa, the king of Judah, he had all that. You know what I'm saying? He had all that faith and trust in that prayer. Having, praying to Yahawah for the victory against the Ethiopians at the time. Let's read Judas Maccabees' account. This is First Maccabees 3:18. Unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few, and with Yahawah the power of heaven it is all one, to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. See? So even though, brothers, we're the small company, everybody else is against us. We're the small company, but it's an easy thing for Yahawah. Just like Asa knew it, and so did Judas Maccabees. All right? So we're going to keep reading. And with Yahawah of heaven it is all one, to deliver with a great multitude or a small company. For the victory of the battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but the strength cometh from heaven. Alright? So Yahawah is the one who gives us the victory. Alright? We're a small number. We're a small company, just like Judas Maccabees was. And Asa, he was crying out to Yahawah in his time of distress. So when we're distressed, I gotta get it. When we're distressed, in our time of distress, hey, the ones that trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, 59 and 19, Isaiah 59 and 19, so shall they fear the name of Yahawah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. The spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall lift up a standard against him. See? So that's that standard. The standard was about to be lifted up in the battle with Judas Maccabees, and then also in the time of Asa that we're reading about. But both those men put their trust into Yahawah Bashem Yahushai. All right, and that's all we have to do. These scriptures are written for our learning, right? Let's get that real quick. I think it's Romans. Yep. Romans 15. Yep. Romans, let's get that real quick. Romans 15, 4 and 5. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Alright? So, Judas Maccabees, Asa, the king of Judah, both those men put their trust in Yahawah Shem Yahushai when they had adversaries in front of them. You see? And right now, when our adversary Esau Edom comes at us with great wrath, against us, because he wants to, put his CHIP in us and also his, hokey pokey. Well, we read it, Isaiah 59:19. Yahawah Bashem Yahshai is going to lift a standard against us, against him. You see? And Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. All right, so we just got to look at our forefathers, Asa, Judas Maccabees, the two examples that I'm using here. But it's written for our learning. And I'm going to keep reading, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. See? So that's what it is. These things were written for our learning, all right? To build our faith. So we could say, hey, Asa had the faith in Yahawah and he put his trust in him. So does Judas Maccabees. They both put their faith in Yahawah Bashem Yahshai and it turned out all right for them. See? The scriptures is written that it's going to turn out all right for us, because it says Jacob shall be saved out of it, right? Jacob's trouble. Let me see. Well, here, I'll read this. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahawah Bashem Yahshai with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded world without end. All right, and that's the precept, one of the precepts of John 3:16, because that's the world it's talking about, in John 3:16. But anyway, Israel shall be saved out of it is the verse I was looking for. Let me get that real quick. Jacob's trouble. I think it's let's see. I know where the Jacob's trouble is, but I don't know if that's the verse. Salakia, let me find this real quick. So, yeah, it was the same verse. For some reason, I was thinking it was two verses. But Jeremiah 30:7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay? So just like Asa and Judas Maccabees, hey, they were saved out of their dilemmas, their troubles. And the same thing for us. That's all we got to do. But I'm going to keep reading, because Asa tells you he was righteous, right? And he did good in the sight of Yahawah Bashem Yahshai. But let me keep reading the story real quick and go back to 2 Chronicles 14 and let's see, 14, where am I at? Let's see. 11. Yeah, 11. I'll read it one more time. And Asa cried unto Yahawah his power, and said, Yahawah, it is nothing with thee to help, whether with many or with them that have no power. Right? That small company. Help us, O Yahawah, for our power, for we rest on thee, and in thy name we go against this multitude. So see, going against the multitude. O Yahawah, thou art our power, let not man prevail against thee. See? That's how we gotta be, And I had a dream one time that, I'm not going to go into the whole dream, but just to make it up quick, I was fighting 3 different men at one time, And then in the dream, all of a sudden, I remember my hands. They subdued my hands, and when my hands were being subdued, I couldn't because I couldn't move my hands. And then I just called out Yahawah Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakah Kudash, and cried out unto those names. And all of a sudden, lightning just went across the sky. It didn't strike the men that I was fighting, but lightning strike in the sky. And when the thunder and the lightning, went at once, immediately those three men just fell to the ground, and my hands were free. You see, and that was just a dream that I had. I think that's the only dream I've had, aside from when I was really young. I believe I had dreams that Yahawah Bashem Yahshai sent. You see, but that's one that I remember it was definitely sent from Yahawah Bashem Yahshai, that dream. You see, but anyway, let me go back to let's see, verse 12. It said, "So Yahawah smote the Ethiopians before Asa and before Judah, and the Ethiopians fled." See? So Yahawah handled it, you see? And Asa and the people that were with him pursued them unto Gerar, and the Ethiopians were overthrown, and they could not recover themselves, for they were destroyed before Yahawah and before his host, and they carried away very much spoil. See, so the Israelites, Judah, even got more spoil. We got spoils out of it, right? And they smote all the cities round about Gerar, for the fear of the Yahawah came upon them, and they spoiled all the cities, for there was exceeding much spoil in them. And spoil, let me get the definition real quick. 'Cause that's all the things you get out of when you defeat another army or another nation or another kingdom. You take their goods. You even take their women. That's part of spoils. Let me see. Let's get this one. This is the most accurate of what I'm looking for. Well, let's read it as first, or actually this is the fourth definition. As a noun, it's to rob, like rob. It says rob a person or a place of goods or possessions by force or violence. All right, and then you go into the noun. It says goods stolen or taken forcibly from a person or place. Right, so that's what it is. You get, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you the. I'm just gonna look it up right here, so you can see it. Alright, I'm going to put it on the screen. It says, to diminish or destroy the value or quality of, that's not the one. The one we're looking at is noun. Goods stolen or taken forcibly from a person or place. And, let's see. Keep going into it. Because, Judah got rich off those Ethiopians. They took the spoils. They took the goods. Let's see. Where's that other one? Plunder, stripped. One of the names that came up on the similar. Let me see if I can find it. Is they call it booty. All right, and that's dealing with. You got all the goods, and you even got the women. But they call it also booty. Oh, here it is, right here. Similar, booty or loot. What do you think that's talking about? You get the goods stolen. So this is in war. This is what happens. So anyway, going back to the scripture, verse 14. And they smote all the cities round about Gerar, for the fear of Yahawah came upon them, and they spoiled all the cities, for there was exceeding much spoil in them. So you see, they took all that shit from the Ethiopians. Alright? Verse 15. They smote also the tents of cattle, and carried away sheep, camels in abundance, and returned to Jerusalem. Alright? So they even took the camels and the sheep, and the camels, and the cattle. Slovakia. So, that's kind of the way our our Jacob's trouble is written. It says that we're gonna have abundance, even in that time. It's gonna be like spoils. 2 Ezra 2:27. Be not weary for the day when the day of trouble, meaning Jacob's trouble and heaviness cometh. Others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt have merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith Yahawah. Alright? My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. And hell is Gehenna, which is the grave. Okay? So we're gonna have abundance, and it's gonna be like spoils, like in the ancient times. You see? So with that, I want to give all praise and glories to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ha Rakak Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. And also I want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect.